Hey guys, Society Reviews here with my review of the film Snack Shack. Everyone loves a good coming-of-age story, but not all coming-of-age stories are the same. This genre of movies allow adults to relive those precious teenage years vicariously through the characters on screen, especially if the story is set in the time period you grew up in. Snack Shack is a movie that was crafted by writer and director Adam Reitmeyer, who wanted to invite audiences into a window of what it was like growing up for him in a small town in Nebraska during the 1990s. The problem with writers inserting their own experience into the story is that not everyone's going to identify with your experience, and if the audience fails to sympathize with your narrative, your film becomes a lame duck. Snack Shack is a film that is set in Nebraska City, Nebraska in the early 1990s. The film is about two juvenile delinquent young boys named AJ and Moose. The film does whatever Americanized story writers assume 14-year-old boys did during that time period. They ditch school, they smoke cigarettes, they curse like sailors, and their interest is what you expect out of 13-year-old boys. One day, the duo gets the opportunity to make some money by buying a city-owned snack shop at a local municipal pool. Despite overspending for the shack by $3,000, the boys take the responsibility of fixing it up and making it the go-to spot for the summer. Things start going well until a girl named Brooke causes inner conflict with their dynamic. Both AJ and Moose have the hots for Brooke, but deciding who gets to take the girl might end up destroying their friendship. The biggest flaw with Snack Shack is the fact that the film doesn't know what it wants to be. While the film isn't quite degenerate enough to be considered along the lines of a Seth Rogen style comedy with young boys, the dialogue and the language of this film prevents it from being considered family-friendly, wholesome entertainment. The teenagers in this story drop more F-bombs than is necessary for a film that doesn't really need an R rating. This is not your typical 1980s sex comedy either, with over-the-top innuendos and gratuitous nudity. Because of this, the film misses the opportunity to be embraced by a more wholesome audience looking for family-friendly entertainment by showing a film that doesn't know quite what it wants to be. The characters in AJ and Moose are our protagonists in the film, and even for 15-year-old boys, they come off as extremely unlikable, which causes an emotional disconnect with the viewers. Adding the character of Brooke does not help matters, as she comes off as more off-putting than the other two boys, which leaves you with a film with three characters who are essentially unlikable for the majority of the people. You have to wonder whether Adam was so concerned about being authentic to his own real-life upbringing that he cared more about telling his story than telling a good story. There are elements to this film to like, and you have to keep it in the perspective that you are watching a movie about a couple of dumb teenage boys making dumb teenage boys mistakes. There are messages to be had here about friendship and family. However, the vessel, which is this film, tries to deliver those messages ends up being a vain mission as it falls short of its goal. For many people who experience their teenage years in the early 1990s like our characters do, there may be an element for nostalgia for you, and for those who are just as mischievous as these kids will find themselves looking in the mirror. However, outside of a handful of Generation X kids, Snack Shack is a film that is going to strike out with the vast majority of moviegoers because the film cannot commit to an audience that it wants to pander to. I give this film a 2 out of 5.
You bid $2,000 on the Snack Shack at the swimming pool.
Actually, we bid 3.